I'm currently reading the book Solve for Happy, which is a fantastic read for anyone who will be interested. I'm going to link it down below. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to go over a couple of things that I learned from this book that left an extremely big impression on me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Valentina. I have 4 children, and my aim for this year and for many years to come is to be happy. So this book, basically someone recommended it on the internet. I think it was Ali Abdaal, because I'm his big fan, so I always watch his videos. Most likely it was him. This book goes over main ideas and main points, how to actually be happy. It gives us an equation. It's an amazing read because it's written by a person who doesn't speak English as a first language, and it's read by him as well, which makes it so much easier to follow because his accent, I'm only recognizing that because English is not my first language, and I can hear an accent right away, and it's so easy to follow, and the language is very simplistic. If you want to recommend it to your teens, it's a fantastic read. Basically, he has a lot of tips and exercises. He urges us to make a list of things that make us happy, and every time we are maybe in a bad mood or something happened in our day, if we go over that list, 1 or 2 things are gonna put a smile on our face and are gonna put us in a better mood. I can relate to this book because the author went through a traumatic experience, as we did as well about 2 years ago, and that particular experience turned his life around, that made him kind of come up with a formula for happiness. What he's discussing is that happiness is our birthright. We are species that have in our DNA the urge to be happy and to actually, not be unhappy. What he points is that being happy means being free of unhappiness. You gotta read this book to understand it into more details. One of a very important points that he mentions is that when life puts you in a hard situation, take the pain but drop the suffering. You can still feel the pain. You are allowed. You're a human being. You probably lost someone you love, but you can feel the pain without feeling the suffering. The suffering is that little chatter in your brain that keeps bringing you back memories that you have to learn how to shut down. Instead of looking for happiness somewhere out there, look for it within you. For you as a parent, as a sibling, as a friend, you have to look within yourself, the things that make you happy as a human being, as opposed to looking outside as to trying to make everyone happy around yourself. So I'm gonna tell you a fabula that this particular author mentioned in this book. It's called Life is Like a Cup of Coffee. So basically it's about a group of alumni that decide to visit their professor to, see how everyone's doing. Once they all get together and the excitement kind of wears off, everyone starts complaining about their life, about their work, about their family. And the professor is just watching them all, and then he is like, okay, let me guys make you coffee. He goes to the kitchen and he pours coffee into this all different type of cups, silver cups, golden cups, just simple cups. And he brings all of these cups back to his students. So when all of his students had a cup of coffee in hand, the professor is looking at them and he goes, if you notice that all of the nice and looking and expensive cups have been taken, leaving only the cheap ones on the tray. While it is of course normal, we are all egocentric and we only want what's best for ourselves, that can also be a source of so much dissatisfaction and problems and stress. It's important to know that the cup itself adds to the real quality to the coffee. In most cases, it's not. It's just something that makes it look more expensive. The experience of the coffee doesn't change because what you're experiencing is the taste of coffee, not the cup. So what all of you really wanted was the experience of the coffee and not the cup, but you unconsciously went for the best cup. This is what we do. We unconsciously want the best thing for us and we forget to enjoy what we have. So now consider this. Life is like this cup of coffee. The jobs, the money, the possessions are the cups, and life itself is the coffee that you're drinking. Basically what he's saying is that the cups are structures that contain or hold together our life. It doesn't change the quality of it, it just changes our perception of it. So sometimes by concentrating only on the cup, we fail to enjoy the coffee. So my advice would be savor the coffee, not the cups. Because what we really want as human beings is to be happy, and the happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything they have. So basically, this story changed my mindset completely. That made me appreciate and look around myself to actually see that you do really just want to enjoy, life, and not what it comes in, basically the package of it. No one is saying that you should not strive for more and not want to have more possessions, maybe, if that makes you happy, but you shouldn't concentrate on it too much, because you kind of forget the taste of coffee while you're debating which cup to drink it from. I learned a very interesting fact from that book. Basically, there are 3 types of thought that our brains produce. Those types are so different that they actually occur in different parts of our brain. Insightful is used for problem solving, something like planning a family budget or maybe a presentation you have at work. It brings your attention to that particular problem. The second one, it's the experiential. It's focused on task at hand. It brings your attention to the things that surround you, something that you need to do right on the spot. And the third one, it's the chatter, which is getting us in trouble. It's the useless thoughts. It's the day-to-day, minute-to-minute small things that you let bother you. Was I rude on the phone? Did I raise my voice at my children? Am I a bad parent? Am I a bad sibling? Am I a bad child? So all of this chatter clutters our brain. These kind of thoughts create unnecessary suffering. Basically, you're just overthinking over and over any kind of thing that you did during that day, which is such a waste of time. You just have to kind of learn to let it go. But to function well in the modern world, we need to kind of distinguish what's working for us and what's working against us. So if you see that chatter is getting in the way of you doing good in life, then we gotta learn how to control it. And this is where the ABC approach comes in hand. It was created by Dr. Albert Ellis. It's actually to help us, patients, how to break out of this chatter. So it comes in 3 stages. Number 1 is adversity. Basically, when we encounter adversity, when we are entangled in a bad event, when something bad happens, right away, we turn this adversity into beliefs, which is the second step. Basically, whatever we thought it's bad, we create it as our belief. And then the third one is consequences. Let me give you an example. So let's start with adversity. Example, you raised your voice at your child because of a messy room. So right away, after adversity comes beliefs. Your child went to school in a bad mood and you right away think, oh my God, I'm a bad mother. Basically, you're making that particular event as a belief about yourself. It's like you shouldn't be judging people or one person by one bad event. You cannot be judging yourself. You gotta be a bit more cautious. Bad mouthing yourself, it's one of the worst things you can do. So once that particular adversity turns into belief, you right away start thinking bad things about yourself. So what this Dr. Ellis is recommending is right away, when you start feeling that transfer from the bad event to the beliefs, starting to think about the fact that you are a bad parent, try to think about something else. So redirect your brain, because our brains are so bad at multitasking. It's very unlikely that it's going to come back to that bad chattering. So if you right away start thinking, if you saw a messy room, right away start thinking, oh my God, I have to sit and get ready for that presentation, or I have to plan my family budget, or I have to plan that trip. So redirect your thoughts, redirect your brain, and it's a very small chance that your brain is ever gonna go back to that chatter, to that belief that, I am a bad parent. Because after the belief comes the consequences. If you put yourself in a bad mood, you already put your child in a bad mood, you put yourself in a bad mood, and if you have a consequence, for example, will be, for me, I have to record a video after my children all go to school. So if I'm in a bad mood, then I'm not gonna be as good on camera, then I'm gonna waste my producer, aka my father's time, and it's gonna be a bad video, which is gonna put me one day behind because I didn't record video on the planned day. So basically, you need to know, and you do know, that any action has a consequence. In order to avoid that consequence, redirect. Another option that Dr. Ellis is giving is when you see a messy room, going back to the same example, redirect your brain into immediate attention, whatever surrounds you. Like an infant is observing everything that surrounds him or her. You can do the exact same thing. Start naming the things you see around yourself. A cup of coffee on the counter, or try to not look at the messy room, a picture that's hanging on the wall, at the bed, at the computer, anything that's gonna redirect your brain. Again, because our brain is so bad at multitasking, it's gonna forget about the bad chatter, and it's gonna kind of calm you down. To sum up, don't give this chatter the power to control you and define who you are. Our minds should be a servant and a tool for us, not a master. You should learn how to control your mind. I do believe in power of mind over body. When it comes to that, you have the power to control your thoughts. You just need to learn how to do it. And that's why I recommend this book. Thank you for staying and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.